we go. Gonna be making breakfast really soon. Gonna put on some TV real quick. Kind of still waking up, but I'm good. Did a little bit of a late night stream yesterday. Let's see, I ended up calling it, ending the stream, mainly because it was late. And I think we just ended off on a really good note. And we played Fortnite. I think we played Battle Royale. And we won such a crazy match. We were getting stream sniped and targeted. And these guys were really out to get us, man. They were really after us. And, you know, we had to pull out all the stops. Kalibu had to res us like 3 times. He was lucky enough to make an escape. I mean, Kalibu was such a good player, man. Y'all should have seen it. The video's gonna be uploading soon. But he literally managed to avoid them. He had the 7 sliders, man. And he just like was placing a bunch of metal walls as he was sliding out of, you know, of harm's way. And they were still shooting at him, man. He was getting, like, he was taking damage from over like 100 meters away from these guys, man. They were hitting like consecutive shots from over like 150 meters away. I mean, it had to have been aimbot. You know, I mean, I'm all for people actually having good aim, but I also know what unnatural aim looks like. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been playing games for almost 2 decades, and you know, I know what good natural aim looks like versus unnatural, you know, like aimbot. And so, you know, a lot of people try to play it off, pass it off as if they're legit, but they're not. You know, we know this, we report them, eventually these people get banned, they get exposed, and they're gone. You never hear from them again. And so, you know, usually those people quit, they give up before, you know, they give up before they even start, and it's kind of sad. But Kalibu, man, he held his own. We're getting stream snipe targeted, aimbotted throughout the entire match. And Kalibu played it smart, man. He used his walls perfectly, managed to escape a couple of times. He rezzed us. We ended up coming in, downing like 1 or 2 of them, and then getting aimbotted again. Kalibu had to make his escape like 2 or 3 times. And yeah, on the final reboot, there was kind of like 2 teams chasing us, right? And so we were getting targeted by 2 teams at that point, towards the end. And so once they downed us and Kalibu actually managed to escape, and I reported them for teaming, they had no choice but to fight each other, right? If they didn't fight each other, it would most likely be flagged as teaming. I also reported them for cheating and stream sniping, because most of the time I see it like, as soon as I call it out, these players, what would you say, like they start playing differently. Kalibu noticed that too. I mean, I start reporting them and then all of a sudden they want to fight each other after like 10 minutes in the match of constant fighting these guys. You know, they're only shooting at us, but now once, like, you know what I mean? It just didn't make sense that 2 teams could be side by side in boxes like this, right? And not firing at each other. You know, they're both sticking out of their boxes and shooting at us. And it just doesn't make sense, you know? I mean, the way we play, you know, it's everyone's fair game, man. That's why it's teaming to me, because it's like how can y'all be fully exposed, you know, just shooting at us and the other team's not picking shots at you? You know what I mean? That has to be teaming. It has to be. There's no other explanation for that, because no one would do that. I mean, we don't do that. anybody's rushing us, we got two teams, we're firing at both of them. I'm picking any shot that I can take. And, you know, and it's just always like not even third party. You know, it doesn't feel like third partying because we're full fighting this team. We're about to take them out, and another team literally swoops in and tries to take us out. Not even take out the solo. They let that guy live. They take us out and they let that guy live. If we don't end up beating those two teams that team up together. And so, I mean, we've kind of exposed this before. There was one time where we did get teamed on, and the storm closed on us. We didn't make it out of storm, and the final two teams that were in first and second were just dancing next to each other, right in zone. So it was just kind of like, it was obvious, man. And it's a known statistic that at least 80% of players use video game cheats now. And I think that statistic is only growing larger. I mean, there's so much people out there that just don't have the integrity to play the game anymore. You know, there's so much kids, adults, you know, man-childs, women-childs, stuff like that want to be the best, but they're not like anywhere near that level, so they have to resort to cheating to feel anything at this point. And so, you know, they just become clout chasers, cheaters, and unfortunately, they don't ever make it. They don't. And sad reality for them, but for us, I mean, I'll say, I mean, it only gets more noticeable. You know, we can hold our own. And so Kaliwu ends up rezzing us, right? We're in for the final battle. The final battle, man. This is make or break. The last team's trying to rush and get to us because Kaliwu put a good like 200, 300 meters against them. You know, metal walls. He finishes the reboot. He brings us in. He downs somebody, you know, as they try to rush him at the reboot. He gets there. I take that guy's loot. One of them started pushing Raven. Raven's taking shots at him. And I decide to help Raven because I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of low-key building up pretty fast, and Raven can't get his shots in. So I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna try to, you know, either aimbot Raven from above or something like that. You're gonna try to go for a piece. And so I get in there and I start pushing this guy on height. He doesn't see me coming. I get in his box, boom, I spray him, I get out my shotgun, boom. I down the guy. Or it was actually a girl skin. And so that guy goes down, I take his loot. Raven and I are rushing the storm, I'm covering Raven. As Kaliwu and Brony are fighting, they take down one more guy, so that's 3 of them down, there's only 1 person left. We see him. You know, I think Brony takes too much damage from Storm, so he ends up getting shot and downed. So does Kaliwu. Kaliwu goes for the piece, but he fails it. And so I go in for the last final swoop. I try to hopefully take this guy down, but even I messed up. Like, I pushed this guy, I think I landed a shot in with the SMG, or I think I even hit him with the shotgun once, right? But it wasn't enough because I was super low on health. He just shot me one time and I was down. Or I think I went down to Storm. And so this guy probably only had like 10, 15 health because as soon as the storm closed, Raven was the only one inside zone. And then this guy, he jumps down from height, splat, you know, because he was so low health. He splats on the floor. And then he gets down to Storm. He tries to use a self-revive, but Raven just finishes him off with the Chaos Reloader rifle. And that was the craziest clutch because Raven he could have easily not messed it up, but the enemy could have easily aimbotted Raven right there at that moment. And so, he went splat, he went down, and pretty much he had like a whole 5 to 8 seconds of, he couldn't do anything, the enemy. Super clutch by Raven. We ended off the night. We played a bunch of creative together, because we had a bunch of people joining in, and what else? And I think we ended off the night with some reload. Everyone was pretty much hopping off at that point. It was already like midnight. I think Raven said he was doing something today. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning for Mav, and Antonio decided he was gonna hop off too. So we ended off with reload. We didn't get that win, but I avenged them afterwards. I loaded up another match, and we killed it, man. These guys were also kind of cheating, I'm not gonna lie. They would pick shots, but they wouldn't miss. Like, it was kind of crazy, dude. I really don't like controller aim assist or something like that, because it's so easy to hide cheats behind that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand how the controller aim assist work and how strong it can be, but I also know its limitations. Like, there's literally a limit to that aim assist, bro. There's no way it allows you to laser people in the face like more than 5 times in a row, And so, there's no way aim assist allows you to laser people from almost 200 to 300 meters away. It's just not possible, You have people having laser aim with the Cube SMG, and that's not possible either. I mean, I just know, when you play Fortnite and you study the meta and how the weapons work, the bloom, the game, most people, like I said, they cheat and they think they can get away with it. But, anyone that knows Fortnite and plays it, I mean, you would understand that there's so much different levels of bullet travel. There's really no gun in the game that shoots 100% straight unless it's a OG weapon, and none of the weapons they were using were OG at all. I mean, Cube SMGs came out this season, or this chapter. So there's no way you could possibly laser somebody with it, even because it doesn't zero in, by the way, it doesn't zero in. So you can't possibly laser anybody with the Cube SMG. It's not possible. Same thing with, I mean, I'd say the only weapon that does shoot straight this season would be the surgical burst rifle, and that's it. But even then you can't laser with it because it has such a low fire rate. You probably only get like 6 shots off in like 5 seconds. So that's all I have to say about it. I don't have to say anything else. A lot of people use aimbot. They use heavily modified aim assist, and yeah, they're just not legit. So a lot of people want to be cool, but in the end they're just they're just not. I think a lot of people do it for clout and they want to be cool, but in reality they're not. And for all my real subs and viewers out there, I mean, you guys know what that's like. If you want to be cool, that automatically makes you not cool. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I learned in life, because, like growing up and everything like that, I used to always think some people were cool and stuff, until you actually like until you met them, and then you just find out they're not as cool as you think. And I learned over time that I think I'm cool, like in my own way. I don't um I don't really talk about it like that, but that's when I realized that, the people that I think are cool aren't cool. The one that's actually cool is me, right? And so yeah, I just kind of drifted away from all of that, and I just decided to be myself. Really, a lot of people aren't themselves 100%. So the ingenuineness shows, and hey man, these people get banned. They don't ever get any earnings. They're not like they're not pro level. They're just self-proclaimed, and they're just frauds in the end. They all are. So that's not something I would like to be ever. I'd rather just be legitimate, whether I'm decent at the game or not. That stuff doesn't interest me. So for a lot of people to fall into that and be brainwashed by it, it's sad. I feel bad for all the kiddos out there and stuff, because they lack the skills and they don't want to put in the time. They want to be pro before they're like a teenager. The young people think that anyone older than 16 is old. So, but then they're gonna be that age someday too. It's stupid. You know what I mean? They're gonna get old someday too. And if anything, their skills will definitely drop out more than, let's say, my skill. It's crazy that I've only been getting older, and yet my skill has only been improving more. And so, well, I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna keep improving. I know that like I said, I still have so much to offer to the game outside of just simple mechanics and whatnot. you know so I'm not like I said, I'm not bothered by and yeah, there's just a bunch of lost people in the world, and they all just want to be famous and clout chase. So I really don't pay that any mind. I don't care about those people. I don't sympathize for them. None of that. They deserve what's coming to them, and I wish the worst on those kinds of people, because they're done for. I mean, they don't even try to improve now in this time and generation where everything is so much better. They're cooked. Seriously. Seriously, these kids won't ever understand. All of these little kids want the best without any knowledge, man. Like, these kids want to play Fortnite at 500 FPS on the highest, computer rig possible, and they still suck, and then they resort to cheating. And they're compromising their super expensive GPU to potential mining and whatnot. And they're just cooked, man. And a lot of these people get hacked. They can't fix their PCs. And it just ends up as e-waste. Then the hacker buys it, or whenever they sell it online or whatever, the hacker buys it for like less than half of what it's worth. And the hackers are the ones that profit, because these little kids and all these, dumb people play themselves. It's sad. Not to be harsh, man, but that's real. It's been like that for so long, dude. Anyone that's ever played PC knows knows that you don't do stuff like that, bro. You download stuff off of the internet, sketchy stuff, that's on you. That's on them. You buy Cronus and Zim, all of that, that's on you, bro. You're only holding yourself back. They won't ever make it to land. They won't ever be, credible. They won't, the only people that are gonna like them are people that they don't like. And it's gonna be like a sad reality, bro. It is. It's a super sad reality. They're just chatting to people they don't even know or like care about them. They just fall into it. Then these people start botting, they start buying chat bots. They start doing all of that, man. It's such fall off behavior. And in the end, they're just another statistic. They don't have any real basis, and in the end, they give up. They give up, they get banned, they keep trying to buy accounts, and then all of those get banned, and then they get hardware banned. And it's done for. They need a new PC. And they're done for, man. And then they keep trying to come back, some of them. And it's just not the same, because they have to constantly rebrand. And they're just not there. I can imagine how much of these people keep trying to come back, and they end up giving up because they don't pull the same numbers anymore. So yeah, it's never worth it. It's not ever worth it. But yeah, those people will never understand it, man. That's a whole bunch of new gen stuff. That's why they're all cooked, not gonna lie. I mean, just imagine it. All these people holding themselves back. Just for some clout. And fake clout too, if I might add. So yeah, like, what did I want to add to that? There's one more thing I wanted to add to that. Oh yeah, and I just never finished that point. Like, they don't understand, dude. A lot of people played video games before some of these people were even born. And I know when I started, bro, I was playing against people that were crazy good, man. Like, when I started actually gaming, people had already been gaming for like 10, 20 years, man. You know? And, I was willing to adapt because I realized that even I can get a kill on some of these guys, man. These people are beasts. Like, these people don't know what's up, They don't know what it's like, man. To play against somebody that's so good to the point where you better yourself and you're actually able to pull off kills against these people. It's it's crazy, man. It started in Homefront. I remember doing it in Call of Duty. And now, like in Fortnite, man. Because no one's like invincible in Fortnite, man. No one is. So, I don't know, man. These people are less willing to adapt. I mean, you can imagine what they're like IRL. And so, not the types of people I want to surround myself with, for sure. And the people they surround themselves with, it's all fake engagement. They're almost as bad as the people that, what would you call it? Or no, they're worse than the people that band together. They do all that follow for follow stuff just to gain monetization, and then they get there, and then boom, their channel just plateaus. You know what I mean? Making, they did all of that, exploited the system, and they're not even making like pennies, bro. They don't. They stream hundreds and hundreds of hours, and they don't even make 10 cents. And so that's they're almost as bad as that. And then these people will go on to be even less, make themselves less. Oh man, it's a good thing I don't want to be like those people. They all end up I don't even want to say anything anymore because it's just it's a sad reality, bro. I know some people that do it for the love of the game. Like, I've met some streamers that don't really care about the monetization. And they just do it for the love of the game. So, some people, like I said, I've met some good people like that. But most of the time, yeah, all of these people are just doing it for the money, and they hardly see any of it because they think streaming is about making money, and it's not. It goes beyond that. That's why they fall off. I mean, just imagine it, like. Okay, guys, give me 1 sec. That was probably one of the craziest cameos ever. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm ready to make breakfast or brunch. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. First, I mean, pretty much the whole reason I say that is because it's something that we see on the daily. I mean, it's not like I just don't think it's a healthy way to play video games and go about life. I mean, hey, I'm not one to tell people what to do. I don't, but I just let those people go because like I said, they're not people I want to play with, man. I doubt they're really having as much fun as we are, and yeah, just forget about them. Just leave that in the back of our mind until we hop on later, and we'll play some more. Like I said, any more cheaters, stream snipers, all of that, we're not gonna do nothing, bro. They won't pull up on me IRL. They got nothing. You know what I mean? I dare them to try to pull up on me IRL. So I ain't scared. You know why? Because in the end, they're only doing it because I beat them. Alright, let's go make breakfast. Take you guys with me. I'll say that's a pretty realistic viewpoint. I mean, think about it. You know, those cheaters aren't gonna end up anything more than like the bad developers of today ruining all the game franchises and stuff. You know? And they're just gonna cease to exist and they're gonna go do something else. They go back to their day jobs. Just continue being nobody. That's what they deserve, that's what they get. Yep, I mean, I genuinely don't even feel bad for these people because in the future, you know, it's not gonna hold up for them really well. And so, you know, and a lot of these people are already getting old. I mean, you can imagine some like 15, 16-year-old, 14-year-old person that was, you know, they're like, oh, I figured out how to hack a game and you know, all of this and that, and they're still doing it to this day. They haven't made anything of themselves, and they're doing nothing. You know? A lot of them don't even make it into game development or nothing like that. They don't have any value. And, you know, they can't even be good streamers because they suck. So, you know. And there's also just a lot of ingenuine people. Yo, Matt, what's up, dude? I'm about to eat breakfast right now, make some brunch. I just realized I'm kind of running out of bread here. So, alright. Looks like I have enough for a sandwich. You know what? I'll just use some tortillas or something. What are you making? I'm making some breakfast. Some eggs. I was gonna make some eggs for the puppies, but it looks like my family already took care of that. So, here, hold on. Let me clear this out really quick. I see something under the stove. What is that? No idea. Alright, I got it though. There we go. Oh, nice. Yeah. You hopping on today, Mav? I was just kind of ranting pretty much at the beginning of the stream. I mean, I was talking about the match that we played yesterday. You remember that match, Mav, that we played with Raven and Kaliwu? That match was awesome, bro. BRB, okay. Raven totally clutched that up. The hackers, yeah, dude. Or the stream snipers, they were targeting us pretty bad. But yeah, I was just talking about like the reality of that, you know? I mean, all those cheaters and stuff, you know, they only target us because they're mad. You know, they're mad that they can't be legit or whatever, but that's the thing though. They have every opportunity and chance to be legit and they don't take it because they don't want to be, you know? They don't. So it's pretty sad. I don't want to associate with myself with those people. It's not my style. And I don't think that makes me a bad person. Because, I mean, why would I want to be friends with those guys? You know? Why would anyone want to be friends with people like that? And so in reality, you know, they're just trying to, you know, play with me. And in reality, you know, like I said, they're just clout chasing, bro. They don't have anything going for them. So they resort to these cheap tactics, and you know, they think that beating, you know, cheating us out of a game. They think that cheating us out of a game is gonna make their lives, you know, better, but it's not, bro. It's not. You know, we play every day. You know, I'm dedicated to playing the game. I don't really care about winning. Obviously, the cheaters do. But I don't. I mean, I just care about having some fun. You know, and if we take out these cheaters, man, while we're at it, then all the better. I don't care about those people. You know, they earned that, you know. They can't go legit because they're too scared to. They're scared to be bad at a game. I mean, dude, I remember when I started playing Fortnite, bro, I sucked. Like, dude, I couldn't even build yet. You know what I mean? I had good aim, but that only goes so far when you're playing builds. I am back, yo. Yeah, I was just saying, I remember when I started playing Fortnite, bro, I sucked. Like, I didn't know how to build or anything. I mean, it took me months before I even like remotely knew how to build, and even then I didn't have all the builds mastered. I only know how to do floors, and I only know how to do walls and stairs. But then, you know, like I said, there's so much other ones. You know, you could use the floor, and then I didn't learn cones until like almost a year in. You know, it took me almost pretty close to like my first year of Fortnite to finally understand how to use all the pieces, get comfortable with the layout. I still do, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, it takes time. You have to really be willing to practice it. You know, people don't get that. People don't get that, dude. It took me almost a year before I could actually know how to build and edit. And even then, I wasn't good at it. I wasn't fast. But what helped me improve was just keeping an open mind. I mean, I'm washed now. Nah, man, you're better than most of these cheaters, man. Most of these cheaters, without their teeth, they don't have anything. I mean, I'll say, like, you have some good aim, man. You have good aim. You know how to hit good headshots with the shotgun. I mean, I think if you just work on your peaks, because it's not about, like, having an edit course or stuff like that. Like, that stuff means nothing in a real battle. I mean, If you think about it, as soon as you see someone edit course, all you have to do is just move away from their edit course, and then you mess up their whole trajectory. Then they have to start playing normal again. I mean, that's one of the things that I think most people in the pro scene and competitive scene kind of fail at. You know, they forget that it's an actual battle rather than, you know, they just start building and doing all this nonsense. Like, you know, it's different because it's PG, it's a public game. You know, public lobbies, they're different, man. That's why when we play creative, it's different for me because it's like this isn't battle royale. This isn't what will happen in a real battle royale match. You know, if you stay on low ground, you force your enemy to stay on. You almost force the enemy to go to low ground. It's pretty much stuff like that. You don't have to play into their tactics. You don't have to do any of that. You know, they can, you know, like I said, they could do all this stuff, but in the end, you could outplay them. Everything's outplayable in Fortnite. You know, you can outplay someone playing height. You know, like I said, like how they do it in FNCS, if they're just skybasing and just beaming people from up top, I don't get how people don't just laser these people down. You know, chop them, but I don't know. That's what always gets to me, man. The pro scene is just so weird to me. Cause it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how can everybody be boxed up, not picking shots at each other? You know, letting each other live. It's almost like they're teaming. That's the one thing that bothers me. Every time I watch FNCS, I'm like, dude, there's like 10 different boxes, all these pros that know each other, not even shooting at each other. No one's really pushing. I mean, you know, it just doesn't seem like normal gameplay. And then the people that hold high ground just beam people from above, and no one even picks shots at them. No one tries to chop them. I mean, it's just so weird, bro. It's just so weird how no one can notice something like that. You know, if it was us, dude, I would have immediately gone for the chop. You know, chop them down and force them to low ground. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. You know, I think everybody in the pro scene plays with like a brainwashed idea of how to play in the pros. I mean, that's why I don't believe in that, because it's like, it's not real to me. You know, all these people know each other. The guy got banned yesterday from that game. Really? How do you know that? Crispy was telling me that it popped up on my screen. Yo, no way. That's crazy. Yeah, Crispy was telling me too, like he submitted a report, and you can go online at Epic, and you know, they have their report statuses right there, right? You could check like how your report is doing and if anyone got banned. And he told me like literally right away that someone got banned after reporting them. So I was like, dang. You know, that means Epic Games do be on it. I mean, I think Epic Games takes me pretty seriously. I mean, I've been playing their game for like a couple of years, almost a few years now. And, you know, I built up my trust with them. I mean, there's so much frauds out there, dude. That's why I don't trust nobody. That's why I don't trust the scene. Because for all we know, all the pros could be cheating in one way or another. Doesn't matter whether they're using aimbot or wall hacks. They could be using other stuff, man. Like I said, when they use the third-party tools, like they use websites where it tells them the best drops. Like you're telling me that that this is, so they think this is okay. They think it's okay to have a thing that tells you where the best spots to land at in the map are. So basically it's a website that tells them like, oh, land here and you'll find the best loot. And how could a website possibly know that? Right? Then you have websites telling, you know, people's stats, where they are on the map. Like, dude, that's gotta be straight up cheating. You know, like, dude, you know the game does that automatically. It's called hotspots. You don't need a website for that. But you see, the thing these cheaters do is they use that website to land at other places that aren't hotspots that have potential good loot. And there's no way any player can know that, you know, unless, like I said, they use the website. That's just cheating, bro. That's cheating. Because basically they're letting the game tell them that there's, you know, there's good loot there, and it's an unfair advantage to someone like, for example, like you and I, we just jump out of the bus, we land wherever, and we just try to find the best loot that we can. We're not, you know, that. It's crazy. That's why I don't like the pros. You know, they're good players and all, but a lot of them resort to super underhanded tactics. They all collude, man. It's all fake to me. I mean, dude, there's literally been clips of other pros discussing, you know, paying each other off and doing all of this stuff, man. It's crazy how Epic hasn't really enforced anything like that because of, you know, I'm guessing it's just a social media thing. It's really crazy to me, you know. I think the only person that doesn't really do that whole colluding stuff that I've seen was probably Clicks. You know what I mean? Everyone else that I've seen, you know, always talks about, you know, exploiting the game in one way or another. And it's just so, that's cringe to me, bro. That's cringe. Because that's not what it takes to be the best, man. True, are you gonna play games today? Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I mean, that's just facts, though. You know, like we've seen clips of, like, even like Booga or Peterbot or stuff like that. You know, they're talking about like paying people off, you know, to hunt clicks down. I mean, dude, that should be a bannable offense in itself, right there. You know, there's been clips of like, you know, pros pretty much exposing each other. Like, I remember Asian Jeff one time, he called out like Kanata for like, you know, he kind of poked at it one time saying, oh, he's like, and what if I told people about like a certain thing that you pay for every month? You pay like almost $500 for some, you know, and I'm pretty sure he was talking about like and he said some software. So, you know, that just goes to show that there's potential cheating going on in the pro scene. And I'm not for it, man. I'm really not. I mean, sure, these guys practice and they're good players, but there's more than meets the eye for sure. That's why I never trusted it. It's all political. But I'm bigger than that. Like I said, they do it for $100,000. I mean, dude, that's a little bit of money, you know, and they're trying to be like the biggest, the baddest, but you know, part of it, I think, you know, a lot of these people are also jealous of like Clicks and stuff because of how much he's propelled himself forward as a creator. You know, there's like, I mean, that's my guess, bro. A lot of people are just jealous and envious. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a pro like Peterbot or something like that and only competing for that little bit of money, you know? And then, like I said, and then he, you know, that's the thing too. He hates clicks or whatever and stuff like that, but I feel like someone like him is mad because he didn't ever take the opportunity to stream, bro. Because he said, "Oh, I don't want to stream. Oh, you know, all of this and that." But I'm pretty sure, bro. I'm pretty sure it just goes beyond that, dude. Like, why not stream? See, that's the thing, and you know, that's his own fault. Could have made more, you know, money off of the streaming or whatever. But now he just spends his time farming content, just like all the other pros now. So, yeah, dude. You know, someone like Clicks doesn't have to farm content. And, you know, they just hate him because they ain't him. Stuff like that. Alien, yo, what's up, dude? I was just talking to Mav right now. I was pretty much just ranting again. I mean, we were talking about this one match yesterday. We were getting stream sniped and cheated. No joke, bro. We had 2 teams targeting us. And Kaliwu had to revive us like 3 times. Yeah, is that Mav? Yeah. Kaliwu had to revive us like 3 times. And Raven pulled off the clutch because we all pretty much died. Where there was only 1 person left. And, holy moly, like, Raven clutched it up, seriously. Because I ended up saving Raven. I saved Raven, we pushed towards the zones. Raven was, like, the only one that made it into the circle. And then... Yo, Fortnite in, like, 10 minutes? Okay, I mean, I still have to eat breakfast, so... I'll probably hop on a little bit later than that. Let me use this. Crap. That was heavy. Put those away later. Oh yeah, and Mav told me that, so Raven clutched it, and Mav told me today that one of those guys that he reported from that match got banned, for sure. And yeah, pretty much this whole morning I've just been talking about how cheaters aren't really gonna be anything. I mean, can you imagine the same cheater having to make a bunch of different accounts? He can't ever be legit. He can't ever be a good player. You know, they always have to resort to stream sniping and targeting us. And in the end, they have no basis. They have nothing, bro. You know, I don't even have to be good at the game anymore. But the thing is, I'm better than all of them. And I think that's the crazier part, bro, is that I don't even have to try, and it makes me better than all of them. Imagine if I did try. just the way I see it. Maybe a mod? Yeah, I got you. Give me one sec. Oops, almost put you in timeout. Yo, you're welcome, bro. Is this a new account? Did you make a new account or? That was good. It was really good. Forgot I like to do it like this. Allows the steam to build up. That's just my take on the whole thing. I mean, dude, it's people's own fault that they don't ever excel past a certain point. You know? I'm not talking about you guys, by the way. Like I said, I'm talking about the cheaters, the colluders, man. You know, like think about how many times Peterbot has stream sniped and targeted clicks, bro. That should be bannable by now. I mean, him just even mentioning that should be bannable. Like I said, I mean, the fact that he's even allowed to compete again after the things that he did online. I mean, it's crazy work. I wouldn't want to be associated with someone like that. You know? And to be honest, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I put myself in a different league compared to those people. You know, to me, they're all self-proclaimed pros. You know, just a bunch of people claiming they're pros hiding behind LLCs. You know, that stuff's capped to me, bro. So, you know, I don't care about that. I don't care about them. I think the only person that's actually made it up to where they are now is Clicks, man. I'm not joking about when I say that, too. There's a few people, too, like, people that had such good potential to be up there, too, like Asian Jeff. I mean, I have respect for, like, the people that started, Dignitas, you know, Kanata and stuff, but at the same time, you know, Asian Jeff kind of exposed them for having subscription to cheats and whatnot. I mean, I just don't like it, bro. They're constantly rebranding because a lot of these people, like, because to be honest, they're just not, they're not worth what they say they are. You know, I wouldn't want to overpay for these players too. That's just my POV, man. It's just an opinion. Because obviously I still think they're all good players. I mean Booga, you know, I think he's all right too, but like I said, a lot of people, you know, became obsessed with being the best. A lot of people became obsessed with, who knows, with clout. And I would never let it change me. I mean, obviously I feel like I've changed quite a bit. When I started streaming, I didn't care as much, but I realized that, you know, y'all made me take it kind of seriously, because I realized how much support that I did have. Because, you know, I played it legit ever since I started. Ever since I started, man. You know, you guys were there. You guys were literally there when I started playing, man. You guys were there. You guys saw me progress and become the player I am today. A lot of these people, you don't see that. You know? Like for all we know, Peterbot could have been cheating this whole time on the low while he was improving his skills, and that's why he never streamed, because it would be too obvious. So that's for all we know. For all we know, lots of pros do that. And, you know, that's not just speculation. I mean, there's literally been clips, bro. There's been clips from the past. Even if he doesn't cheat now, I mean, doesn't mean that he didn't in the past. And that he's benefiting from it now. You know, it's not legit, bro. That food looks hella delicious, yo. Thank you. Yeah, I'm about to eat right now. I'm gonna grab a plate. I think I'm gonna have some toast too. And make some bread. What's up, some bread here? But I mean, it shows, man. It shows. A lot of these guys, they're just immature, bro. That's for sure. They're all immature to me. I think the only one that really held, I feel like almost held that level of maturity was Pollo. But then I feel like he kind of got brainwashed into everything too. And so I don't, you know, like I said, I don't believe in any of that stuff no more, man. You know, they killed their own vibe. All right, I'll be right back just a minute. Yo, I'm back. Yo, what's up, Mouth? Just set up the camera. All right, I'm gonna try to eat this all. Kind of a lot of, made a bit, but should be fine. I'm gonna go make a coffee real quick. All right. Just eat real quick. Oh yeah. Just eat it like this. Mm. Sheldon. Nice. Continue the suits. I mean, there's even video admittance of even like Peter Bot saying that his apology was ingenuine. That he didn't care. So it's really why I don't care. I don't care either. He's not the end all be all. You know? To me, he's just another player. You know, I just posted my second short on this account. Nice, bro. I'll check it out. I'll check it out when I hop on my PC. What just happened? It's good stuff, man. I mean, to be honest, we could just chalk it up to that's why Peter Bond never became the creator he wants to be. Because he never took initiative. Too much of an ego. Now all he does is spend his time targeting clicks. Sad. So does every other creator, it's crazy. Nope. I mean, my whole pro scene is just full of ingenuine people. Crap, I'm just eating like crazy. Where's Aylin? I'm not sure. He's probably getting on Fortnite right now. I'm gonna make this into one big taco. Come on, Harvey. How could he treat Scotty like that? You're losing your cool, Harvey. Dang. Why would you treat Scotty like that? Some more beer me. Who is Washi? I forgot his name. He used to go by Jack. He was what's his name? I forgot his name already. I forgot his username. He used to go by Jack. I don't know if you remember that. He was friends with twins. If you remember twins. That was his friend. Hmm. Got one. Dang. Yeah, that's why I don't really trust the pro scene, man. They're all full of. Like I said, if I could tell you guys this straight out, that a lot of people do stuff outside of like the streaming world. Like there's a lot of people that sell drugs. There's a lot of people that scam. There's so much of that. Don't be surprised if some of your favorite creators and stuff like that are involved in stuff like that. Until they do that until they're able to round up enough money, form LLCs, and start defrauding the government and all of this and that. Start fraud, committing fraud. And so that's why I don't really, I don't like any of them. And it shows because a lot of these people, like you hear how they talk, the way they believe in, the way they act. I mean, they didn't get it from the ground up. It was handed to them. So that's why they're not the end all be all. Who cares? I say right up. They're not gonna go farther than that, anyways. Just end up as has-beens. I give it less than a few years now. Dang. He's called. Dang. Oh, it's gonna get spicy. He folded. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big difference. And that's the difference between me and these people, man. And they're only just gonna keep trying to, like I said, I say one thing and then they do another. It just goes to show the sway I have. Yep. It's a big world out there, but it's crazy how much motion I have. And I'm not just talking about money. Oh. No. No. What the? Why would she do that to Katrina? Easily one of my favorite characters, Katrina Bennett. What are you watching? Suits? Yeah, he always asked me to play. Oh, okay. Ninja was one. What do you mean by Ninja? Oh yeah, I felt like Ninja was good. I just feel like I don't know. He had good aim and stuff, but he never really made progress in building. If that was noticeable from the start. I mean, at the start of Fortnite, not everybody knew how to build. There was only like a few that kind of really understood the mechanics. And so, I feel like when buildings started to blow up and they changed the movement and they added sprinting, I mean, that changed it big time to a lot of people. Like the game was too fast paced for like a lot majority of the players. Mm. It's funny. Everyone just tells Harvey that he's wrong. He knows he's dang wrong too. Because he's such a hard-headed man. I mean, I get it too, because you don't want to look weak. But there's nothing weak about showing some compassion. No. What a power play. You have to tell him, Harvey, if you don't want him to go. Come on, Harvey. Mike knows what you're trying to say, but no. I know. Jessica got mad, so she wanted to see some heads roll. It's not true, Lewis. Nah, Lewis, before that you were. Good analogy. Damn, Lewis. There's that fire I wanted to see. Bro, Lewis is such a good character too. I can't lie. Come on, Harvey. Harvey, you know it's not what it's about. She just can't tell. He can't tell her. I mean, tell her it's not his secret to tell at the moment. Why don't you just tell her that? Be honest. Tell her the truth, man. It's not your secret to tell. Harvey. Barnacles, man. How can you... For being the ladies, man, he's kind of really bad at it. Come on, Harvey, you need to lock this in, man. It's because Harvey's in a dark spot. Even Mike sees it. Mike knows. He's like, why don't you just ask me to stay and I'll stay. Dude, just throws a folder at him. I love how they do that too. They just throw around folders. Damn, nice power play, Mike. So make it right. Dang, that hit Mike in the... If they both just drop it, nice. They both drop it, man, he can help him, dude. Mike can literally help him. See, because he said being a lawyer is what he is, and that's stuck with Mike, you could tell. Jessica exposing him right now. That he only hired her as a diversity thing. And he's saying that he wouldn't have hired her because she of her color. Why did he spank him like that? Freaking Lewis, man. He's gotta have aura. This is crazy. Colin, hop on. Fortnite. I'm in the bathroom. Nice, alright. My bad. Give me a minute, y'all. It's just, this cause Suits is so good. You guys have to like watch it from the beginning and pay attention to everything that happens to really understand the later episode. A lot of people like just watch the edits on TikTok and stuff, but it has such a good storyline that it's quite continuous. Come on, Harvey, stop being a baby, man. How long are you gonna let it eat away at you? Just tell her it's not your secret to tell. It's Mike's secret. He can't. It's not his secret to tell. That's why he should have been honest with her at the beginning. And that if she couldn't accept that, it wasn't ever gonna work. I'm telling you, Dana would have understood that, bro. If you would have just told her it's not my secret to tell, it's Mike's, she would have understood that something was a little bit, off the books. Wow. Dang, so see, and Mike did it without him telling him. That's the thing for sure. Like, Mike Ross cares that much. He could tell that Harvey was low-key beating himself up over Mike leaving, bro. He didn't want him to leave, and he just couldn't say it because it goes against his character, his being. But Mike knows that, he's like, because he's basically, he's Harvey's hand. He knows. And so he did that not only for him, but for Mike, he did it for himself, not just for Harvey. Because he knows that deep down being a lawyer means more to him than being an investment banker. Doesn't matter about the money. And it was just, it sucks because he knew it was messing with Harvey's life. Harvey has a secret he can't tell. It's also his secret, but it's more Mike's secret. And that was kind of messing things up with Scotty, or Harvey and Scotty in their relationship. He definitely needs to tell her though. And Mike has a secret he can't tell. It's not his to tell, and it's pretty big. It's a pretty incriminating one. Is what he should tell her, pretty much. And that maybe one day he'll tell her the truth, but she has to pretty much, you know, not hold it against him or try to get him incriminated or stuff like that. I mean, because if Scotty does like him, she wouldn't, you know what I mean? She would protect him, but at the same time, it's tough, man. It's tough. A lot of people that go to Harvard and stuff wouldn't take that lightly. I mean, Lewis Litt didn't, so you can imagine others that may or may not. But you know what? I also see it that a lot of those people wouldn't care. You know, they'd be like, oh, I mean, all right, then I just won't tell anybody because now I'm rolled into it. For all they know, Mike did go to Harvard. You know what I mean? And like everybody that he's ever met pretty much went to Harvard. And so, and you know, they all love Mike. I mean, Harold, Benjamin, the IT guy, even though he didn't go to Harvard. I mean, Harvey has respect for him. Lewis has respect for him. Pretty much everybody there. Jessica, even, you know, understands. But it's not about the fact that he didn't go to Harvard. It's the fact that he's that good. You know, his loyalty and where he stands, the type of lawyer he is, you know? Doesn't matter if he went to the bar or not. Plus he did pass the bar, by the way, he just got banned. Because he was helping other people on the test and he got caught. And it sucks because it was because of Trevor, his old friend. What are you even watching? Suits. I'm on season 3, I think. Almost season 4. That's the facts, man. That's the facts. We all know that. I think everyone would literally stand up for Mike. I mean, it's crazy how it ends, because eventually, and like no spoilers, but eventually Mike does get caught. And it was pretty messed up, you know? They were just treating him like a criminal when he helped so many people, you know? He helped so much people. Hop on. All right. I'm done watching TV. My bad. I had to finish the episode and let my breakfast settle. I'm gonna start an exclusive right now. We'll play we'll play some Fortnite. I'll see you guys there right now. All right, peace. See y'all in a few.